Good day, everybody. How are you? I'm fine. We are going to continue this paper. Today we'll be doing question 5. Maths paper November 23. Let me take my pen here because there are some things that we'll have to highlight there. So now this is question 5. It's a parabola, okay, and what do you call hyperbola. And now if you can check this hyperbola, it is in the form of a over x. Now they put d, this d over x. They don't have that plus what, so it basically means what the asymptote there, it is 0. So now the graph of f of x is equals to negative half x minus 1 squared plus 8. So now as you can see there, it means what they have put it in the form of what, ax minus p squared plus q, whereby p it is the x-intercept of it is the x value of the turning point, q it is the y value of the turning point. So now without wasting time, let's simply evaluate it and write it in its simplest way. So now I can simply say negative 1 over 2 ne? And then say what, x minus 1 and then x minus 1 plus 8, and you are now opening it up. So negative half times half, it is what, negative half x, and then negative half times 1, it is the same as half. And then now at the same time multiplying it with that x minus 1, negative half x times x, it is same negative 1 over 2 x squared, ne? Negative half x times negative 1, it is positive half x. This one and this one, it is the same as positive half x, and then that side you have negative 1 over 2 and then plus 8. And then when you're gonna do the like terms, I'm gonna have the value of a is negative 1 over 2x squared, and then let's check our calculator and check what is half plus half x plus half x, it is the same as 1, so it is negative half x squared plus x. And then let's check the last one. What do we have? Negative half plus 8, I get 15 over 2, so it is what, 15 over 2. Okay, so now that is how it is. Now let's go to the first question. I need you are just opening it up in case. So now they are saying write the coordinates of the turning point of f. This, it is the turning point of f, which were at b. And now check, when you are given in the form of ax minus p squared plus q, you already know that you already have what, the values for the turning point, because I just said that p it is the x value of the turning point, q it is the y value of the turning point. So which means with the coordinates, it is what, and it is negative 1. You know the story, we write it as positive 1, and then the one for the y doesn't change. Please know that if the x value of the turning point inside the bracket it is positive, you write it as negative here. If it is negative, you write it as positive because it is squared. So when you're gonna open the brackets and stuff, you're gonna see that it is the same thing. Is it fine? And then now let's check the second one. That write down the coordinates of c. And then now already you can simply do what, punch it in your calculator as it is, but now you'll have to what you call, to choose to check something. Now if you try to punch it here, check something. We know that at c, x it is equals to 0, so you're simply gonna get your answer straight. You're not gonna punch in the calculator. But I just did what, expanded it and wrote it in the form of what, ax squared plus bx plus c. And you know that the parabola can be represented in two ways, ax squared plus bx plus c, or ax minus p squared plus q. And then now check something. Now already I have the value of c, and the value of c, it is the what, a point whereby your graph cuts the y-axis. So you simply know that at c, what you call, x it is equals to 0, right? So you can now put the whole calculation, what I just did there, on after this, and then show that therefore c it is what, 0 and what, 15 over 2. Don't just to show them how you got your answer, you can simply say at c x is equals to 0, and then you can do this calculation and just go there. Or you can see at c x is equals to 0, then you punch 0 where there is x there, then you'll get your answer straight away. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Calculate the value of d. This is the g of x now. And then now d over x. They want the value of d. But now check something there. The graph of the hyperbola is here and here. But at the same time, you know that when you have to determine something, the variable in an equation, you have to use a point, right? And then now this hyperbola is passing through b there, okay? And then now you can simply say at b, which is what? 1 and what? 8. Then you will substitute y it is equals to d over x. Let me find a pen so that I'll write down in my paper actually, because now this one is very, very important, because the first ones were just fine. So let me take my pen. Auntie, I hope you understood how I did the first ones. So now this is 5.3. So you know that at b I have 1 and what? 8. Then you write your equation d over x. Where there is x, you put what? 1. Where there is y, you put 8. Therefore, my d it is equals to 8, using the substitution the substitution method. Simply using a point that your graph passes and then substitute. You see how it is. So now let's go to the next one. They are saying write down the range of g. G it is the hyperbola, but you know that the hyperbola, the range of the hyperbola must be written in two conditions. The first one, you know that it is simply y element of real numbers, where y it is not equals to the what? The y value of the asymptote. But in this case, there is no asymptote, right? Like there is no asymptote which is greater than 0. And when it is like this, you simply know that the asymptote it is what? 0. So it will be where y it is not equals to 0. Because if there was the asymptote was 2, you're gonna say why it is not equals to 2. So now let's check something here. For which values of x will f of x times g of x be less than or equals to 0? So now let's check this one and interpret it guys. When it is saying that f of x times g of x less than or equals to 0, it simply means one of the two graphs must be above the x-axis while the other must be below the x-axis. So now we are gonna start and identify the points that we have on the graph. This is the first one I have. This is the second one I have. This is how I usually do these questions. And then this is the third one I have on the graph there. Is it fine, guys? How is it? Can you see how it is now? Oh, at the same time you have this point, right? You have this one again. So now let's check the first one. I need to have this side here, this section. We have this section. Let's consider this side, this section. So now as you can see there, you can simply see that the graph of f of x, until we are checking this way, it is -3. The graph of f of x, it is what? Less than 0. It is in the negative side. And also the graph of g of x, it is what? Less than 0. Is it fine? And then now when we check this side, when we check here again, we can simply now see that the graph of f of x, it is greater than 0, whereby the graph of g of x, it is what? Less than 0. Because it is the portion whereby the graph of g of x is still where? In the negative side, the graph of g of x. Okay, and then now when we come here, we can deduce that both graphs are greater than 0. Here it is the graph of f, here it is the graph of g. So both of them are greater than 0. And then when we come here, we can see that the graph of f of x, it is what you call less than 0. And then now the graph of g of x, it is what? Greater than 0. Those are the kind of things that you might check there. Okay, and then now when you're gonna do now, what you are gonna check now, it is that we are gonna identify the points now. Check something, guys. We are simply checking here. You're gonna manage the graph here. It is what? In this portion, the graph it is negative. Here, both of them are negative. But here in this portion, the graph of f is positive and the graph of g is negative. And then in this portion, that is where both graphs are positive. They are above the what? the x-axis, and then here this one, the what you call the graph of f, it is now less than 0. Yeah, so now we can simply check where now we want a point whereby one graph it is above, the other one it is below. So I'm gonna start here. This is what? -3. I have -3 here, less than or equals to x. Now I have to check another point. I cannot consider this one again because we must check where the other one it is above, where the other one is below. And then when we are gonna come here now, when you are gonna come here, they are both greater than 0. When you come here, this one is greater than, this one is less than. So it is what? 0. Can you see where it is now? So those are the things that we must consider. Or as you can see here, we can see that x, or we can simply say or x it is greater than or equals to 5, because this is the portion that you can see here. These questions are the kinds of questions which are tricky, but I hope everything will be fine. And then now let's go to the other one. Calculate the values of k so that h of x is equal to -2x plus k will not intersect the graph. So now check something here. Now we are going to check the possible intersections where this graph of h of x will not intersect what? The graph of g. These are the intersections. I need to know the intersections are maganjan. So now you're simply checking what? The intersections where it will not intersect. When it is intersecting, this is the point of intersection, guys. Now we are checking where it will not intersect. That's why I'm doing this. This is the point of intersection. This is the point of intersection. The point of intersection, it is where they both meet, but they're saying that where they will not meet. Okay, so now this is how we are gonna do it. You're gonna start now. We are simply checking the possible intersections. So now I need to check in the possible point of intersections, but where they will not intersect. So now this is what you will say: h of x it is equals to g of x. What is h of x? -2x plus k, which is equals to 8 over x. We understand? And then now my marker is dying, so let me check another one here. Maybe this one will be better. And then now let's do the maths. It is 8 over x, so we must get rid of the what? The fraction. You must multiply everything by what? By the denominator. And then let's simply make this one positive. So it will be 2x squared minus kx plus 8, which is equals to 0. I need markers, yo. Mara, they are many. Yeah, Mara, I just need to get new ones. And then after that, we are gonna consider our what? Discriminant. The discriminant is saying what? B squared minus 4ac. Now we are gonna substitute now. What is the value of b? Minus k squared. The value of a, it is 2. The value of c, it is 8. So basically, the discriminant is equals to k squared minus -4 times 2, it is 8. 8 times 8, 64. But they were saying that there must be no intersection. So it basically means the discriminant must be less than 0. That is why we will have k squared minus 64 less than 0. When we do our maths here, difference of two squares, k plus 8, k minus 8, less than 0. Now I'm gonna go straight to the answer, because you know that when it is like this, that is when you're gonna equate everything to 0, right? And then now we know that here k is equals to -8, here k is equals to 8. So this is how we are gonna represent them: 8 less than k less than 8. So k is between -8 and 8. That's how we kill that question now. Okay, so now let's go to the next question and then continue, guys. The next one is saying that h is a tangent to g at r. Let's indicate what they are telling us. They're saying that h is a tangent to g at r, a point in the first quadrant, and we know that this is the first quadrant, so it means this is the point, like this can be the possible point r, but it doesn't have coordinates there. Calculate the values of t such that y is equals to f of x plus t. But now the first thing that you must do, you must find the coordinates of what? Of r. You must find the coordinates of r there. So now we are gonna do the same thing, guys. These are tangents to the graph. I was always mentioning them. They can come in the parabola. the ones that we do in the calculus, whatever. So now it's back again. So let's check the graph of g of x. It is equals to 8 over x. Can we find the derivative of this one? No. So we must do this one. Use the rules. This is gonna be 8 x to the power of negative 1. Therefore, the first derivative of g of x is equals to negative 8x to the power of negative 2. And then now, this is what we're gonna start. The first derivative of g is equals to the gradient, which is m. We were told Uguti h is a tangent. H was the line of negative 2x plus k. So now what is the first derivative? Negative 8, negative 2. And then the gradient was simply taking the one of what? Of that straight line, which is equals to negative 2. And then now you can simply divide everything by negative so that you'll have your things in order. 8x negative 2 is equals to 2. And then this one, I can write it 8 over x squared, which is equals to 2, because this is the inverse form of it. Then cross multiply 2x squared is equals to 8. Divide both sides by 2. I have x squared, which is equals to 4. Therefore, x it is equals to plus minus 2. And then now we can see that the coordinates of r. Now we can now do what? Write what? The coordinates of r. Is it fine, guys? So let me take another marker. I feel like this marker is better. So here we'll have 2. I think they said the first quadrant, so we are gonna say therefore x is equals to positive 2. But now, guys, check something. We don't have the y value of r, so let me do this. You know the deal. After finding the x value, we are gonna take the original equation and substitute the value of x, which means the y value is 4. Lano you have 4 here. And then after that is when I'm gonna do take another paper here so that I can continue here. I'm gonna take another paper here, so let me try to put them together both here. Yeah, so it's fine, guys. You'll see everything. After that, I have r as 2 and 4. Now I will write the equation I have. So it is negative 1 over 2 x squared plus x plus 15 over 2. I have already expanded it. Mara, you can also use that what you call that standard form which you were given. So you'll say already I wrote r there. So where there is y, substitute 4 is equals to negative 1 over 2 squared plus 2 plus 15 over 2. What are we looking for? They said that f of x plus t plus t. F of x plus t. So they were looking for what? They were looking for that. So it is the same as y and stuff. What was I was now made a mistake. I omitted t there. So now we can now punch on our calculator there. So what do we have there? I have negative 1 over 2 times 2 squared plus 2 plus 15 over 2, which is what? This side I have 15 over 2, right? So let's say 4 minus answer. Let's check something here. I think this side you have plus t here. So now we simply have to find the value of t there. So let's calculate it. So Lana, it will be 4 minus 15 over 2. We are simply taking that one to the other side. So this is the value of t. So therefore, t is equals to negative 7 over 2. That is how it is, guys. Our 4 marks. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe, guys. That is all about the functions. So we are basically done with functions. I will upload the video for finance soon, and then everything will be fine. So even if you substitute using the equation that you're given, it is fine. You're gonna get the same answer. That is all, guys. Thank you very much.